This is a chemical-free nonstick pan that can last a lifetime. At least that's what the company Our Place wants you to believe. They just released their brand new Titanium Always Pan Pro, and they claim it's the first nonstick pan built to last a lifetime. To test this bold claim, I've been cooking with this pan since it came out, and honestly, I am very surprised at the results so far. In this review, I explain what I love about it, what I absolutely hate, and whether it's truly the first ever nonstick pan that you'll never have to replace. There's a lot of jargon on Our Place's website about this pan's materials. So to cut through the noise and find out exactly what it's made of, I reached out directly to the company and asked them to break it down for me layer by layer. They told me the pan is made up of 3 bonded layers. The exterior is 430 grade stainless steel and the core is aluminum. Both materials are standard for a 3-ply pan. The big difference with this pan is the interior. It's not stainless steel, and even though it looks like it, it's not a hybrid of steel and nonstick coating like Hexclad. Our Place confirmed that the interior layer is pure titanium, without any coatings or chemicals. I asked why parts of the cooking surface look darker than others, and they told me the darker color is due to oxidation during their proprietary curing process. Titanium is incredibly hard and resistant to damage, and because of that, this pan can handle up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit in the oven. But the main feature of this pan is what they call their no-co or no-coating technology, which is the raised pattern on the cooking surface. If you look closely, small circles are debossed into the titanium, and inside those circles are tiny raised dots. Our Place claims that this pattern creates airflow between the food and the pan, resulting in a cooking surface that repels liquid like a hydrophobic lotus leaf. That's the secret behind how this pan is non-stick without a chemical coating. So does this no-co surface actually work? To find out, I cooked the food that is most prone to sticking: eggs. The instructions say that you need to grease the surface with at least a teaspoon of oil. So after preheating the pan, I added oil and a little bit of butter. I let the eggs cook for about a minute before touching them. And when I finally nudged them with a spatula, they moved freely with 0 sticking. I also flipped the eggs with no issues. I tested it again by making an omelet, and again, the egg cooked perfectly and didn't stick at all. To push the limits, I cooked another egg in a completely dry pan without any oil or butter. This time it stuck, but not so bad that it ruined the egg. I was able to slide the spatula under it without breaking the yolk or ripping apart the whites. Even though some of the eggs stuck, cleaning the pan was easy. The stuck-on bits came right off with a quick rinse. This pan is not only good with eggs, but it does a good job searing too. I cooked burgers, steak, salmon, and chicken in this pan, and it browns well and cooks evenly. A bonus of the textured surface is that it keeps oil in the center of the pan. You can still coat the entire surface by tilting the pan, but the oil doesn't immediately run to the edges and leave the center dry, like it does with some nonstick pans. With every pan I review, I measure heat conduction by recording the time it takes to boil 2 cups of water, and I measure heat retention by removing the boiling water from the heat and measuring the water temperature after 10 minutes. Based on these tests, this pan has average heat conduction, but above average heat retention. The heat retention score is likely due to the thick walls and tall sides that absorb a lot of heat. Although they say this pan is 3 millimeters thick, I measured it at 3.2 millimeters, which is slightly thicker than the average 3-ply pan. Performance-wise, I'm impressed. But design is another story. There are a couple elements I like, but a handful I absolutely hate. On the positive side, I like that the handles are rivetless. You get a clean, uninterrupted cooking surface. I also like the helper handle. It's big and it has a nice wide opening. I also like the tall sides. They're about an inch taller than a typical frying pan, so you can fit a good amount of food, and you can use this pan for braising or other liquid-heavy meals. On the negative side, the handle is thick, squared, uncomfortable, and has a peg that you need to clean around. When you're holding the end of the handle, the corner digs into your hand, which doesn't feel great. And because of the rounded edges and slick, polished finish, the handle gets slippery when your hand is soapy or greasy or you're wearing an oven mitt. They designed the lid so the spatula that comes with the pan can slide underneath while it's resting on the handle, but that space allows steam to escape. Even when you remove the spatula and twist the lid, steam escapes. As you can see, the steam goes directly on the handle, making it wet and piping hot. With most pans, you can shift the lid back towards the handle, so there's a tiny space for steam to escape on the opposite side. But with this pan, the steam is constantly blasting on the handle. There's no way to fully seal the lid and direct the steam elsewhere. I also really dislike the polished finish on this pan. It's one of the shiniest pans I've seen, and while it makes a statement and looks great at first, It gets covered in fingerprints and smudges and ends up looking like a mess. The lid is also thin and feels fragile. It's only 0.8 millimeters thick and weighs 1 pound. For comparison, this Caraway lid has the same diameter and weighs 2.2 pounds, and this Calphalon lid weighs 1.5 pounds. So is the Titanium Always Pan Pro worth buying? This is one of the few pans that I'm torn on. On one hand, it does live up to its promises. Even the most delicate foods like eggs don't stick, and since there's no ceramic or Teflon coating, there's no reason to believe the performance will change over time. Is it as slick as a traditional nonstick pan? No, but it's way less fussy than stainless steel, and at least in my experience, it releases food better than a well-seasoned cast iron or carbon steel pan. Plus, it's lighter than cast iron and you don't need to season it. On the other hand, it's expensive, almost $200. And at that price, it's hard to overlook the slippery and uncomfortable square handle and the flimsy lid that doesn't seal well. With a $200 budget, you could buy a quality stainless steel pan that will last forever and an affordable nonstick pan just for eggs, and still have $100 left over. All that said, I think this pan is a good option for two types of home cooks. People who want to avoid Teflon and are tired of throwing their ceramic nonstick pans away every 6 months. And people with limited kitchen space that want an all-purpose pan that can do it all. The bottom line is that this pan offers a combination of nonstick performance and durability that you can't get with most cookware. If the same textured titanium surface was on a pan with a comfortable handle and a standard lid, I'd be recommending it to almost everyone. If you want to learn more about this pan, I'll link to it in the video description. Those are affiliate links, so I'll earn a commission if you click and buy, but at no extra cost to you. If you want to see more options, check out this video where I break down the pros and cons of the 45 most popular frying pans. And for more videos like this, click the logo to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.